chased poverty from their homes. Museveni was also glad to hear recollections narrated by the Prime Minister of Alur Kingdom, Lawrence Opar Angala, on the genesis of the kingdom, pointing out that he was already knowledgeable of that history. The host, His Royal Highness Philip Olarker, thanked President Museveni for honoring their invitation. He said his kingdom has developed Alur guidelines to be adhered to in the institution on marriages.
Our young girls have been victims of underage pregnancies, or worse still, victims of child marriage, and the situation was worsened during the COVID-19 pandemic of the end of 2019 to last year, when children were out of school.
The notable guests at the function included the King of the Acholi, Rod Achana II, who thanked President Museveni for his support to cultural institutions in Uganda, adding that the institutions play a very crucial role in society.
Still in the course of the day, thousands of mourners, including religious leaders, politicians, family and friends of the late Dr. Paul Kawanga Ssemogerere have gathered at his home in Rubaga to celebrate his life. During the Requiem Mass led by the Archbishop of Kampala, His Grace Paul Ssemogerere prayed for peace and justice to prevail in Uganda. A few minutes service van bearing the body of the late former president of Democratic Party, Dr. Paul Kawanga Ssemogerere, drove through his gate amidst chants and DP party songs. Family, friends and politicians encircled the stand where his casket would be put, waiting to cast their eyes at their beloved leader, friend, father and husband. During the funeral service celebrated in his home, mourners prayed for his soul and for God to strengthen those in the campaign of truth and justice.
Katonda pati mwenza wali kantu nyini mwana gwe tukakasa mu kukkiriza nti yafa n'azuukira. Tukwegayiridde omuweerezaawo Pawulo Kawanga Ssemogerere yeebakidde mu mwana wo oli ng'akkiriza ekyamagero kino ajjule essanyu ng'alaba ayise mu ye okutuuka ku kuzuukira. Newe ngamba kati era buli mwajja ku n'atali mutabani oba muwala we yatege nze ni muwala wa Ssemogerere kubanga yayogerwako ye muntu afaananikako bulungi. Abazadde mweyise bulungi mweyagaza abaana baleme kwekola nsi eno nga olw'ebikolwa byammwe ebikyamu abantu namwe ne babakyayiramu.
The Vicar General, Kampala Archdiocese, Monsignor Charles Kasibante, said the late has been a living reminder, urging people to emulate what Ssemogerere lived for.
Takirabye naye nkakasa nti gyagenze eggwanga lina n'asigala alisabira Omukama atuwe okutuuka ku byobufuzi ebitereevu, obwenkanya ne demokrasi omutuufu.
Mourners attributed to the late as a person who mentored especially the young in being good leaders.
Icons of peace, including justice. He's been here at a time when we have so many political challenges. We have so many politicians here who talk something different in the morning, and in the night they say something different. So he's been saying something in the morning and could stand and defend it in the evening.
I wanted him to fix it in any way. He just said, I want Uganda and Ugandans to be together. He became the pacifier, even in the theft of his own presidency. He became the reconciliator. He became the man who speaks for truth and justice and for Ugandans, and he has been a true statesman.
His body is to be taken to Rubaga Cathedral for a requiem mass. His body is to be taken to Rubaga Cathedral for a requiem mass on this Sunday. I'm Nafka Farida and Ivan Juko.
Still about the late Semwogere, President Yoweri Museveni has an official burial accorded to the late former Deputy Prime Minister and Democratic Party President Dr. Paul Kawanga Semwogere. Now, the Democratic Party icon burial is expected to take place on Monday, the 21st of November 2022 in Komba along Entebbe Road, and the Minister of ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Badiomonsi, told the media this Saturday that arrangements are in line with the need to commend his immense contribution to the country.
Government of Uganda has joined the rest of the country to mourn the late former party president for Democratic Party, Dr. Paul Kawanga Semwogere.
Dr. Kawanga Semwogere was an icon in our Ugandan politics, and he was known near and far, and therefore would want to express and extend our condolences. Dr. Kawanga Semwogere, as we know him, has been one of our distinguished politicians in this country. A statesman, a diplomat, a peacemaker, and a person who has been part of the political journey in this country.
Dr. Paul Kawanga Semwogere, who was pronounced dead on Friday, 18th November 2022, has been accorded an official burial by the head of state.
His Excellency the President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, in line with the Constitution of Uganda, has directed that the late Right Honorable Dr. Kawanga Semwogere be accorded an official burial.
The Prime Minister of Uganda, Right Honorable Robin Nabanja, will lead the government's team at Rubaga Cathedral.
Together with the members of the family, have constituted a team that has been discussing the funeral arrangements. And as I have already said, he died yesterday. There is a vigil at his home in Rubaga, and tomorrow there will be a requiem mass at Rubaga Cathedral starting at 2 p.m. where the Right Honorable Prime Minister of Uganda, Robin Nabanja, shall represent the government of Uganda.
We are, however, informed that basing on his stature, one could have wished to see Dr. Kawanga Semwogere laying in state, but this wasn't his wish.
And there has been a meeting today where the program has been worked out. It came to our understanding that the Honorable Kawanga Semwogere did not wish to have his body taken at Parliament, neither did he wish to have his body taken to Kororo. And as a government, we respect what the family tells us. So that's why his body is not going to be taken at Parliament or even to Kororo.
The official burial definitely means government will take full responsibility of his send-off journey.
So the official burial that the government has accorded him entails the government of Uganda meeting all the funeral expenses starting the day when he died, shall be providing all the meals that the mourners will be taking, the seats, the tents, and whatever is required to ensure that we give Dr. Kawanga Semwogere a decent burial.
Addressing media this evening in Kampala, the Minister for ICT, Dr. Christopher Yomosi, confirms that the late will be laid to rest with the tune of 3-gun salute.
He shall also receive a 3-gun salute when we are laying him to rest, as a way of honoring him because of the distinguished service he has rendered this country.
The late Dr. Paul Kawanga Semogere will be laid to rest on Monday, 21st November 2022 at his ancestral home in Natali, Nkumba, Wakiso District. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Now, rigorous scientific trials conducted on HIV transmission over the last decade indicate that people living with HIV and AIDS who take their medications as prescribed and have an undetectable viral load stay healthy and cannot pass HIV/AIDS to their sexual partners. This is why the undetectable equals untransmitted, which is U equals to U, comes from. Medics and people living with HIV and AIDS, including discordant couples, are testimony to this research. Although the stigma and discrimination related to HIV and AIDS makes the U equals U most difficult to build, just as our reporter Rose Bukirwa found out.
Gloria Nawanyaga has been living with HIV since birth. However, one of the biggest challenges she has had to grapple with is stigma and discrimination.
Stigma has been a challenge to me in many times because of stigma that I tried to commit suicide. So when I got drug resistance, I developed AIDS more because I got rashes, I was so skinny. I used to have a very bad skin. So I go to school, I find out a child of a neighbor who had the rumors that I'm what? That I'm HIV positive. Immediately he saw me. He told everyone that girl, don't play with her. She has what? HIV.
Another, whom we have named Rose, was also born with HIV and is living in a discordant relationship with her husband. Even when she was and still remains very suppressed, they struggled to accept the status quo.
So I would keep the medicine maybe in the ceiling or in the toilet, in the laundry basket, down, like it got so complicated. I went home, he looked so dejected, he looked broken. And I found him in the sitting room on the floor with the medicine there. I had 3 months medicines there.
For both Gloria and our Rose, disclosure was not a ride in the park. This is because it comes with a lot of stigma and discrimination, not only from partners, but also the different families and communities in which they spend time.
Most of young people don't have the confidence to discuss all these things with their partners. Just like how I felt guilty that it was my fault, I should have told him, that's how they would be feeling. So I'm thinking if they do that, it works, and the few people I have told, it has worked for them.
If I'm HIV positive, it doesn't mean that I'm supposed to date someone who is HIV positive. I can still date someone who is what? Who is negative. But anyway, some people took it in a different way. They find challenges that they, at a certain point, at first of course it's good, but at a certain point they start feeling like the other party start showing that
many young people at a certain age, especially after school, are ready to date and get married. However, for many of those living with HIV, the feeling is different. They are torn between disclosure and letting go of their dream. They fear disclosure for fear of being rejected and stigmatized.
It's better for someone who is HIV positive to date someone who is also like them, because they know what it means to have HIV, they know what it means to take ARVs every day, they know what it means to be stigmatized.
However, modern HIV treatment and care can significantly improve an HIV positive person's health and life expectancy. Many people with HIV can expect to have a near normal lifespan. When a person is living with HIV and is on effective treatment, the level of HIV in the blood freezes. The viral load is undetectable and therefore virally suppressed. When the virus is suppressed, it cannot be passed on to a sexual partner.
When you're also fully suppressed, it means we can't find any virus in your blood. So fully suppressed and totally undetectable are the synonymous. Yes.
Rose and her partner have children who are HIV negative, and this is scientifically addressed. But what kind of support do the couples offer to each other? Gladys, a doctor and senior clerical officer at the AIDS support organization Mulago branch, explains the science in the undetectable equals untransmittable.
The HIV virus cannot be transmitted through sexual contact if someone's viral load is suppressed. So the cutoff for suppression, a person we declare suppressed, varies for different nations and different countries. Currently in Uganda, we say someone is suppressed when their viral load copies are less than 100.
An undetectable viral load means that the level of HIV in the person's blood is so low that it cannot be detected by a lab test. And undetectable viral load is a vital part of staying healthy. Chikomeko, a psychosocial support officer in charge of discordant clients at the Mulago Tasso branch, explains how discordant couples could remain with the same status. It makes adherence a key part of HIV prevention. It makes stigma easier to deal with.
We need to have somebody who is constantly on ART, taking their medication as prescribed or as instructed. That is very critical in order for you to achieve the undetectable levels. There is no this business of Simanyi Sijuya, I missed, I went for burial. No.
So the ARV drugs that we are using keep targeting different components of the virus. So if you're taking your drugs every day, at the same time, you maintain a certain level of concentration of the drug in your system that keeps the virus at bay. Now, if you forget to take, say, one dose, say maybe you're supposed to take at 8 p.m., then you forgot and you slept, the virus then starts to get energy and it's coming back slowly.
Under the circumstances, communication, disclosure to the sexual partner, adherence, and knowing your status every often as long as you are sexually active are critical in maintaining a healthy status quo.
One of the challenges I still see is disclosure. You know, if I'm living really well and I am HIV positive and I'm taking my drugs and I'm not detected, it might mean I may not tell you and you'll probably never find out. So you have a number of people still finding it difficult to disclose their status to their partners. Because they know the partner may not even be at any risk.
Although an undetectable viral load prevents HIV transmission, condoms are still important to protect against other sexually transmitted infections and unintended pregnancy.
When you have sex with someone who has an STI, maybe syphilis or gonorrhea or chlamydia, you can pass it to the other person. Now, the HIV drugs that we are working with are targeting the HIV virus itself. That is what is not detected, but you could still have another sexually transmitted infection because the drugs are not targeting syphilis, they are not targeting chlamydia.
Dr. Gladys explains how Tasso, spread across the country, has been core in the fight against HIV for the last 35 years, supported by other partners.
Tasso's role has been to do everything surrounding HIV, from prevention to care and treatment to counseling to even reaching up to people's doors, people's homes, to offer them services both around HIV, the drug itself and art, and also prevention services, complementary services like family planning and all those strategies.
As for Gloria and our Rose, being seropositive has not stopped them from pursuing their professional dream.
I am an HIV advocate at the global level. I'm also a human rights lawyer. I'm so passionate about humanitarian work. I'm the founder of the Y Plus Music Band, a band of young people born and living with HIV who use their talents to create a positive impact through entertainment. I'm also the founder of the Young Positives Foundation, a charity organization that empowers and equips and educates people living with HIV.
I have gone to school even after I had gotten pregnant. My mother took me back to school. I have become a lawyer and I am working. And I think I'm happy with my life. I have a caring man and I have 2 children.
Remember, undetectable equals untransmittable, but adherence and communication are critical in maintaining this. For UBC News, I am Rose Buchirwa.
Thank you so much, Rose Buchirwa, for that wonderful report. Moving on from that, formation of farmer groups has been mooted as the alternative way to increase the penetration rate of the costly smart agricultural technologies in the developing world. Exhibitors of the technologies who were at the just concluded AIMA International Agricultural Machinery in Italy indicate that the expensive nature of a single unit of the equipment is the reason sub-Saharan Africa lags behind in productivity. Now, the convergence of individuals is touted as the means to pool adequate resources. Details follow.
The farm equipment with sophisticated robotic technologies for mechanized agriculture was on full display for potential clients at the AIMA International Exhibition of Agricultural Machinery in Bologna, Italy. These can be programmed to automatically plow, weed or harvest, controlled from a distance, saving on energy and time.
The icon ranges from about 150,000 euros up to 200,000 euros.
But there are also the little costly tractors compared to those robotically controlled. Unfortunately, a majority of the population in the developing countries find it unaffordable to own a tractor. Uganda's Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries estimates show that there are less than 500 tractors within the country. A majority of these are those distributed under the government initiative to push for mechanized agriculture through distribution to the 4 regions to support farmers. The remainder of the tractors is privately owned by the established farmers and large corporations.
Uganda si bangi nnyo wetwogerera abakozesa ebyuma bino bitulaba wano. Akisinze okubasomoza yebeeyi ey'ebyuma bino. Kati tugenda okwesanga ng'abasinga obungi bakozesa nkumbi, bakozesa mikono gyabwe.
Saying farmers should own a big machine. Do they have a big farm? They don't have. As I told you, they are smallholders farmers. On average of 2 hectares farmer. So why should they acquire big machines?
Agricultural pundits suggest formation of farmer groups at community level to leverage ownership and proper management.
We know our strength, so let's come together. I'm urging other countries that we Africa's cooperative is one of the areas we have to look at, and then we can be strong. When we are strong, we can come together to have a good deal with equipment dealers. The price will be affordable and they will listen to us so that every African country can have their share out of this trip.
You must see farming as a business. That's what you tell Africans. Throw away these cutlasses and hoes and all these funny things. That's when you talk of subsistence farming, you're talking of a micro business. So even that fellow with a micro business can aspire, right? And so on and so forth.
Beyond cultivation and weeding, the tractors can be turned into irrigation pumps and for transport. Technological advancement could recruit the new generations to conceive agriculture as a pivotal element of every country's economy.
A youth who is coming out of the university should be able to bold enough to say, I want to go into farming as a full-time employment. That is the only way we can solve our food crisis, create decent job and employment opportunities for the teeming youth across Africa.
A report by the United Nations shows that Africa imported about 85% of its food in the period of 2016 to 2018, worth $35 billion and is expected to reach $110 billion by 2025. Uganda is in this bracket with a majority of 67% of the population into subsistence agriculture.
If we're going to grow Africa to feed ourselves, we need to learn quickly and adapt some of this machinery to our environment.
How do we make our own farming activity to improve the export and the GDP of our country? It is by doing what is right. that will make your produce to be acceptable internationally.
The adoption of the smart technologies could ensure timely preparation of the gardens by farmers against erratic climate, sometimes abrupt and so short, hence responsible for the spontaneous instances of famine experienced year in, year out, despite being in a better condition given the abundance of freshwater bodies and the moderately fertile soils compared to those in the Sahara. Dorcas Kimono, UBC News.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kimono. In other stories, the State Minister for Lands, Dr. Sam Mayanja, has cancelled 2 land titles of Mukabala and Musajja Mukuru villages in Chikobe district. The minister was in Chikobe after residents and the Chikobe Resident Commissioner, District Commissioner, petitioned his office following a suspected fraudulently acquisition of the titles that might lead to the eviction of residents. Details follow.
State Minister for Lands Dr. Sam Mayanja has cancelled 2 land titles processed in the names of Stephen Asera, Debo Hangu's East Member of Parliament, Charles Nyabongo, a member of Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom Parliament, and Jobu Mhumuza, a businessman. The land in question measures approximately 127 hectares comprising plot 172, block 22 in Musajja Mukuru.
Twala samples eza signatures zange kandi baturukya report ekugamba mu signature zona eziri ayibara lyange tiziri nuzo signature zange zenyine zibozesa ekyapa nkino kigire mu Uganda Police.
The biggest here, you see that hill over there, that hill and even the hill in front. The land was captured and titles made out by people where the title, the process has never been applied. Land Area Committee has denied ever having held a meeting. The signatures were all forged. The land board was all forged, but titles were made. And people were poised to be dismissed from there. So I've directed that that title be cancelled.
The same individuals also acquired another title covering 297 hectares of land in the village of Mukabara in Chizira Fumbi sub-county in the same district. More than 8,000 families occupying the contested land are facing threats of eviction from the 3. The affected residents say that titles were processed without their consent.
Isaininge esiginete hali ne yange bikoka na muno
mkameti miaka 20 mbikansana kine kisanya kwa shirika ya mukaga na weto kinyine kimanyire
yewe fomu ejo itagirole kandi ngabatakakihuraho ga kandi ibara lyange bitayizireho.
The minister also ordered the State House Anti-Corruption Unity to commence investigations into the circumstances under which the titles were processed. Mayanja also wants officials at Masindi Ministerial Zonal Land Offices investigated for allegedly conniving with land grabbers.
The other titles, about 30 in number, who the area MP has indicated, those are forgeries. They have, however, been made by the Masindi Emzu. I've directed the State House Anti-Corruption Unit in connection with the RDC and the CID to carry out 10-year investigation on all the titles done by Masindi Emzu. Cancel all those titles.
One of the affected residents, John Mbabazi, says many people had abandoned work on the contested piece of land over fear of possible eviction. Jamilu Sekaja compiled this report for UBC News.
For now, let's take a short commercial break and we'll be back with more stories in sports, business, and more to come.
So, I'm here to announce that the MTN Kampala Marathon is back. And this year, we are running for babies. To be clear, I am not talking about a baby. No. And neither am I talking about to be baby. I am talking about these small dollars.
Run for babies in the MTN Kampala Marathon on Sunday, 20th November 2022. Dial star 165 star 77 hash or use the Momo app to register.
Welcome to the Living Room Stadium. It's the FIFA World Cup. The match is about to start. Food and drink ready. There's no space left for anyone. Come on, get your lucky chair. Take your usual spot. Even the puppy has one. It's preparation time. You can feel the tension in the air. And do you have everything you need to believe?
Did you know that a cashless, secure, and convenient lifestyle is possible with Airtel Money Pay? Pay for your goods and services in the following simple steps. Dial star 185 star 9 hash. Enter the merchant ID. Enter the amount. Enter payment reference, for example, school items. Please enter PIN to confirm. You will receive a confirmation message for a successful transaction. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
The Ministry of Health informs the public that there are confirmed cases of Ebola in Uganda. We, however, urge the public not to panic as the situation is being managed. The Ministry of Health further reminds the public to be on the lookout for any persons who may show signs and symptoms of Ebola. These include high body temperature, abdominal pains, diarrhea, vomiting, bleeding from the body openings such as the nose, eyes, and mouth. Please inform the nearest health worker immediately if you see anyone with these signs and symptoms. To prevent Ebola from spreading further, please take the following preventive measures: regular washing of hands with water and soap, avoid handshaking and hugging, avoiding any contact with any suspected Ebola patients. Any person who dies suddenly should not be buried but reported to the nearest health worker or LC1 immediately. For further information, please call the Ministry of Health toll-free number on 0800 100-066 or send a free SMS to your report on 8500. This message is from the Ministry of Health with support from UNICEF and World Health Organization.
That's right. The Voice is coming to a city near you. From the 21st of October to the 20th of November, you get a chance to showcase your talent. Prepare a 1-minute MP4 video of yourself singing and upload it to thevoice.africa to register. Make sure you have a valid Airtel number, and if you're shortlisted, you will be contacted to come in for the live auditions.
Well, don't just stand there, let's go!
Music your passion, Africa your stage. The Voice Africa, connected by Airtel.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Yes, hello? This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Calling you from the mobile service center.
Okay. So how can I help you?
Well, we have noticed a few things wrong with your number and need your mobile money PIN.
Ton Ferrer, never give out your password or PIN to any caller. Your mobile service provider will never call or ask for your personal details. If in doubt, go to your nearest phone service center.
This message is powered by UCC, MTN, Airtel, Bank of Uganda, and NPSP Association.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. We're still going on with UBC News tonight, and in more stories, as 6 candidates nationwide prepare to begin USCE exams on Monday, Kagadi candidates have been warned against indulging in any form of examination malpractice and violation of UNEB rules and regulations during exams. UNEB Buyaga County Area Supervisor Sebastian Simakula, while briefing the candidates at Kagadi SSS in Kagadi District, cautioned candidates against malpractice. Details follow.
The deputy head teacher, Kagadi Government Senior Secondary School, Ziwa Jude, says A total of 120 Senior 6 candidates registered to sit for the UACE examinations at Kagadi Senior Secondary School, adding that candidates are well prepared to sit for their examinations and that he is optimistic they will excel, basing on the teachers' early completion of the syllabus.
Teachers have done their work, administration has done their work, everything is set, and the district quota system have been dominating it. And last year we sent 4 students, 2 to Makerere, then 2 to Kyambogo, and I hope this year we shall continue improving.
The Director of Studies at Kagadi Government Senior Secondary School, Tofil Byarugaba, disclosed that 4 candidates did not show up for the briefing and reasons were not clear. But he is optimistic they will turn up for their first papers on Monday.
We did not attend the briefing session. However, we have high hopes that they will come to sit for their UACE examination to start on Monday, 21st, 2022.
Candidates expressed optimism that they will excel in the examinations.
They have taught us everything as it was stated in the syllabus, and at the same time we had the good libraries, even the school provided us with some Wi-Fi so that we can enhance on our knowledge.
I have it in heart that I should offer a course, medicine, bachelor's degree in medicine and surgery at one of the public universities in Uganda.
Senior 6 candidates will sit for this year's UACE examinations from over 20 centers in Kagadi district.
The National Curriculum Development Center and the Ministry of Education rolled out the new lower secondary school curriculum in February 2022, aiming at producing graduates with employable skills that are competitive on the labor market. The Director Basic and Secondary at the Ministry of Education and Sports, Ismail Mulindwa, calls on secondary school to embrace the curriculum.
Skills development is on government agenda, and the Ministry of Education and Sports has set up infrastructure and policies to serve the beneficiaries. The Director Basic and Secondary Education from the Ministry of Education and Sports, Ismail Mulindwa, says students completing the lower secondary curriculum will be employable. And we have moved some schools, and when I came to Nabingo here, I found Nabingo is now a model school, because they seem to have understood the curriculum better than many other schools. And I want to encourage other schools which are still struggling. You can spare a minute and go to Nabingo and try to see how the curriculum is being implemented. Now we are confident when it comes to assessment in Senior 3, where the learners are supposed to get their certificates, it will be easier for such a school. The Directorate of Industrial Training is on a familiarization tour countrywide in secondary schools to sensitize and inspect the new curriculum set up.
So we call upon all schools to make sure they prepare learners for assessment. I'm happy to see DIT going a step further, engaging the teachers, passing them through on the process of assessing these learners when it comes to the time of assessment.
The headmistress, Trinity College Nabingo, Rwanga Immaculate Nasozi, commends the new curriculum for being more practical and user-friendly. She, however, calls on for additional financial support towards the vocational subjects.
The other schools that have not got on board with the new curriculum should rethink about the importance and the advantages that they are denying the children. This world, I think, needs us to address the problems we have by coming up with workable solutions, and it is helping the children to be creative.
The Directorate of Industrial Training will assess and certify the competence of students next year in the 8 pre-vocational subjects of agriculture, art and design, entrepreneurship, performing arts, nutrition and food technology, ICT, physical education, technology and design.
As the Directorate of Industrial Training, we are ready to assess the Senior 3 candidates 2023, that is by November 2023. We have already worked on the roadmap. Registration of secondary schools is ongoing. We are about to reach 2,000 secondary schools. If the entire centers under UNEP, they are 3,500. So we have at least reached a better number.
Each student will sit for only one occupation according to his competency and convenience.
We're going to use non-biodegradable materials like bottles, caveras, so that we can reduce on the plastics. According to this project, it can be sold during the holidays and we get more money. And even this can be used at home as a table mat, for it looks very nice.
Sudat Kaye and Henry Muganga, UBC News.
Now, parents and guardians have been advised to keep their children safe and involve them in productive activities during the holiday times. This goal comes at a time when the quest to look for survival has taken most of the parenting time, leaving children to adopt undesirable behavior.
There is a general outcry about the declining role of parenting that has resulted in negative consequences to the children, like early pregnancies and contracting of diseases like HIV and other sexually transmitted infections. Now parents have been challenged to spare time for their children in order to mold them into responsible citizens. This was echoed by parents at Kawempe Central Vision Primary School during the Dance and Drama Day.
Some parents don't like their children to work, more especially those ones who have maids at home. They don't like them to work, they leave every work to their maids, they do everything, but it is not good. We should teach these kids how to work, because you never know where the kid is going.
As a parent, when the children come home, good enough at our school, they try to impart religious values. So as parents, we should try to see that our children in holidays live by those values so that they stay disciplined and respectful.
The parents commended the school for organizing co-curricular activities that they say help to sharpen the mental development of the children.
First of all, it brings like a team building for a child to behave well in the society.
The director Kawempe Central Vision Primary School, Isaac Asengubo, describes co-curricular activities as very instrumental to the well-being of the children.
Music, dance and drama indeed is very good for our pupils. One can earn a living from music, dance and drama. Actually, it's also good for their bodies. It's also good for the community. One can excel in music, dance and drama. We have seen very many people, actually, they are well off because of their talents.
The pupils presented different talents including singing, dancing and poetry.
Uganda Federation of GUEMGOS Community Credit Cooperatives has convened a Mindset Samuel GUEMGOS leaders training to foster rural development through Korean MAUL GUEMGOS model, which literally means village banks. According to Samuel coordinator PG Pasco Wambale, the training will also diminish challenges village banks encounter in the system-related risk, credit management and interest rate setting. This was at the National Farmers Leadership Center in Kampingisa, Mpigi district.
With courtesy funding from Korean Federation of Credit Cooperatives, Uganda Federation of MG Community Credit Cooperatives has embarked on building an autonomous community sustainable financial system to 7 MAUL GUEMGOS in Uganda. This is through training offered by the SAMAU GUEMGOS leadership in various modules including mindset change, financial reporting, credit management and digital financial systems, among others.
The major aim of this training was to enhance leadership of the leaders so that they are able to strategically lead these institutions, to manage credit with mindset change focused on growth and sustainability of these institutions.
During a 5-day business ideological transformation conversion at National Farmers Leadership Center in Kampiringisa, Mpigi District, participants were urged to sustain the acquired knowledge which will ignite growth and decent MG monetary service delivery.
Learned that we ourselves, the leaders, we have to own this thing in our minds and our hearts, that we have to also invest our money in our banks. Someone cannot trust me with his or her money, yet for me I have not banked in my MD.
We shall find it very easier to enter data in a computer than before using the manual kind of thing we have been doing.
Such that when you invest in something and in the other one, you can be getting daily income.
Officiating at the handover event of certificates, Director Mindset Change at National Farmers Leadership Center, Paul Odwak perceives Ugandans should take themselves as agents of development.
The only thing that we need to work on is our mindset. And once we have the right mind, the right way of looking at things, and the motivation to move, Uganda will go places that we shall not be able to believe 50 years from now.
MAUL coordinator Uganda Andrew Chepa maintains Korean Federation of Credit Cooperatives will continue providing capacity building trainings to MAUL GUEMGOS in Uganda. Sudat Kaye and Robert Bwaita, UBC News.
So, I'm here to announce that the MTN Kampala Marathon is back. And this year, we are running for babies. To be clear, I am not talking about a baby. No. And neither am I talking about to be baby. I am talking about these small dollars.
Run for babies in the MTN Kampala Marathon on Sunday, 20th November 2022. Dial *165*77# or use the Momo app to register.
Welcome to Friends Stadium. Everybody's ready. Wait a second, not everybody. Come on, dude, it's the FIFA World Cup. You're going to lose your seat, the ritual seat, the lucky one. Losing more than a seat, your team is going to lose. Where are you, dude? The match is about to start. Your friends won't hold out much longer. Excuse me. Finally, everything is in the right place. Hey, other hand. And you, do you have everything you need to believe?
You're still watching UBC News Tonight, and in our business stories, Uganda Business and Technical Examinations Board has started the delivery of all examination materials at storage facilities across the country with the help of Uganda Police Force. Now, the Executive Secretary Yubte Bonesma Soyesige says Karamoja has been given priority route and candidates have been urged to adhere to observing the Ebola and COVID-19 guidelines.
Uganda Business and Technical Examinations Board has registered an increase in the number of females pursuing TVET programs. The board has registered 33,504 females out of the 87,800 candidates from 601 examination centers.
As part of government, there have been very many reforms in technical vocational education and training. And one of the things you notice is that government has really revamped most of the training institutions by fabricating them, by constructing. So that one. But even the private sector, those who have taken these schools, they have also invested a lot. So that one has. But another area where we feel the numbers could have come is that the admission criteria was changed beginning with last year by the Ministry of Education and Sports Department of TVETCOM.
The Executive Secretary Yubutebo Nesmaso Yesije says the examinations will be conducted in 2 phases to enable maximum supervision, coordination and monitoring of the examinations.
Phase 1 commenced yesterday on 18th November 2022 with the briefing of candidates, while Phase 2 will commence on 2nd December 2022 with the briefing also of candidates. When you look at the details of programs per phase, what we are going to do, National Certificate Technical and Uganda Community Polytechnic Certificate will be from 18th November to 2nd December 2022.
As part of enhancing inclusive education, the board has registered a total of 67 candidates with special needs pursuing various academic TVET professionals.
These special needs include visual impairment, hard of hearing, physical disability, and dyslexic effect. The special needs candidates will be accorded specialized education arrangements such as sign language interpreters and transcribers, while others will be accorded extra 30 minutes.
The board has also deployed over 5,000 examination managers to ensure vigilancy and security of the examinations. It has also taken special consideration for 5 examination centers in Mubende and Kasanda districts, which are under lockdown due to the Ebola outbreak.
On this, we have written to the Inspector General of Police and the Minister of Education and Sports, as well as local authorities in the respective districts on the conduct of examinations for easy coordination of these examinations.
Heads of centers have been asked to brief candidates in accordance with UBTEB rules on conduct of examinations. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
So, I'm here to announce that the MTN Kampala Marathon is back. And this year, we are running for babies. To be clear, I am not talking about a baby. No. And neither am I talking about to be baby. I am talking about these small dollars.
Run for babies in the MTN Kampala Marathon on Sunday, 20th November 2022. Dial *165*77# or use the Momo app to register.
In our sports stories, Uganda is still going strong at the 7th African Swimming Federation Kana Zone 3 Swimming Championship in Tanzania. Now the 48-strong swimmers delegation has so far collected more than 10 medals and is destined to defend the crown. The Ugandan delegation spoke to us about their achievements and lessons thus far.
The event was very nice, it's very competitive, and the event was very nice. It was a good opportunity for us to showcase
Go Team Uganda, so let's go do some chant or something.
Let's go UG, let's go. Let's go SMS, let's go. So this event has been very successful, I would say, for both me and Team Uganda. I've liked the way we performed, and I've liked the way I'm performing, and I pray that as we draw to the end, that we may achieve the goals that we came here for, that we may be first in this meet.
Hello everyone, my name is Sharon Kyomugisha. I'm the captain of the Uganda swim team. So far I've done a couple of races, about 5, 6 and 2 years. I'm finding the event wonderful actually. I'm improving almost all my time to be able to get 3 medals. So I'm thankful that this competition that I got and
So day 2 was okay. I've won 1 silver and 1 bronze. Bronze was from yesterday, 200 breast. Then the silver was in the 200 medley relay. Yeah, I'm happy with my results.
Well, thank you so much for watching UBC News tonight at 10 p.m. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha with Mugalu Mohammed on Sign Language. From the team and I, have a lovely night and a blessed Sunday. Bye-bye.